Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch the part 2 of the press conference drivers at the Mexico Grand Prix. Let's watch together and then we'll give our honest opinion.
So we have last weekend's winner, Charles Leclerc. We have Zhou Guanyu, and with Fernando Alonso being ill and not at the track today, delighted to invite Aston Martin's test and reserve driver, Felipe Drugovich, to join us. So thank you for coming in. In fact, Felipe, why don't we start with you? Because for a long time now, you've been scheduled to drive Fernando's car in FP1 here tomorrow. How excited are you by that? And what is the program tomorrow?
Yeah, so thank you very much, first of all. Yeah, very excited to be here. Yeah, I think the only thing that wasn't planned to be is actually the press conference. So, yeah, my best wishes to Fernando. Let's see how he gets on tomorrow. But yeah, really excited. Tomorrow the plan is to, first of all, focus a little bit for the team. We're going to have some development runs, just trying to help the team and get us some data. I think I'll be able to have some fun at the end, pushing a little bit, but it's normally quite tricky, especially it's a new track for me, so I need to take care of the car. But yeah, hopefully it'll be a good session.
Well, you've got a lot going on tomorrow, and you weren't in Austin, but what are the teams saying about the upgrades that they introduced there, and what are you expecting it to feel like in the car tomorrow?
So feeling-wise, I can't really say. I haven't driven this car actually, so it's going to be my first time driving the 24 car. But I mean, taking on from last weekend, I think the upgrades were not the best from straight away. But as any upgrade, I think they need a little bit of optimizing. So we'll see how they behave in this track, which is very, very different from Austin. But yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't matter how the car is going to feel for me. I'm just trying to have fun and do the job for the team.
I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Look, final one from me. Can we talk about Fernando Alonso? This is his 400th Grand Prix, an incredible number. You've worked with him for the last couple of years. Just tell us what that experience has been like and how much you've learned from him.
Yeah, it's been really cool. Obviously, trying to understand what he does and everything he does on track. Every weekend that I've been as a reserve driver is pretty cool. I think he's got some different approach from what I was used to, and yeah, just seeing the way he approaches the things. I think the driving bit is actually probably the closest thing to what we do, but the approach he has and the attention to details is pretty impressive. So it's been quite cool to work with him.
All right, thank you, Felipe. Zhou, let's come to you now.
Yeah, we are sorry for interrupting the press interview, but we will be short because of the YouTube rules. We must do this for a couple of seconds or a minute.
Alonso is sick, right?
I have to say one thing. The worst team in Formula 1 to be a reserve driver. Why? Fernando Alonso. No one knows when he will retire. The other driver is like Daddy's boy, and but many of, let's say, our dreams, like a Formula 1 fan or Formula 1 driver, the dream will come true for him.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, and I wish him best luck and good pace, let's say.
Also, I wish Fernando Alonso a fast recovery at his, whatever it is his situation. And
I think it's like flu something.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
Something
It's something small illness, let's say like that. But we will see how Felipe Drugovich will perform with Aston Martin. As he said, like, I don't care how the car will feel. To me, is just that my dream is coming true to drive the F1 car at the Grand Prix.
Absolutely.
He will definitely enjoy this moment. Let's move on with
Zhou Guanyu, what he will say about their point opportunity for this week.
It was quite a tough weekend for you in Austin. The race didn't quite pan out as you wanted. You didn't have the upgrades on your car. Valtteri did. What was he saying about them, and what can you expect from them this weekend when you'll have them as well?
Firstly, I think exciting, of course, to try the new package. I think Austin in general, we was still trying to extract everything we could. I think it wasn't easy just seeing how difficult, let's say, the start of the weekend for us, but also with a short term of just FP1, then obviously not getting enough track time to try certain things, try to extracting them. So I think it's working like we expected in terms of the numbers, but I did definitely expecting to be a little bit, let's say, more ahead than the pace was. But one thing I think was good is that in qualify, we was, I think both of us under 2 tenths to Q2, which is the closest we ever been the last 4 or 5 races. I mean, in a way, it shows how much struggle we've been, but on the other side, I think it shows we would manage to close the gap, which is something nice to do. But yeah, unfortunately, my race definitely not going to go too much into detail on that. With a mistake in turn 1, and then yeah, cost quite a bit. But even than that, I think points wasn't possible that weekend. But I was just trying to give it all with what I had. So this weekend is going to be completely different, which will be nice. And jumping in the car after, let's say, P1 from P2 onwards, trying to figure out, what we go forward and what setup we make adjustments.
Well, look, how confident are you for this weekend? Because this was actually one of the team's strongest performances last year. Both you and Valtteri in Q3. Do you think this is going to be an opportunity?
I mean, I think this track layout in general for us is on the table to do well. But yeah, I wouldn't really set, let's say, the benchmark high for what's happening this year, just because we've been struggling quite a bit in few places, and some tracks even we're struggling more than the previous years, which is quite difficult to go through that. But in another way, I think last year was definitely one of the stronger races that in terms of purely on Saturday performance, the car was really good. And also, let's say in general, the track is not so bumpy, like we've been struggling with a lot of stiffness of our car over the bumps and curbs. So yeah, hopefully that we can have a car on the ground straight away that is working like we expected and working on that. But yeah, there's plenty, let's say, a catch up to do as a team for us, try to back in the fight for points.
Well, look, good luck with that. Just final one from me, 2025. Second seat still available in the team. Have they given you any idea of a timescale when they're going to make a decision? And have you been looking elsewhere as well? Have you been thinking about a third driver role in another team, or indeed in this team?
Yeah, firstly, I think it's quite clear that we went through a lot more conversation than we did at the last few race weekend, and we knew that nothing is being, let's say, declared. Also, nothing has been, let's say, signed for the second seat, and we are still in contention for that. Myself and then together, I think Valtteri is quite clear, and yeah, nothing is being done. So we're just giving all every weekend, showing what we can do to Mattia, and then of course, end of the day, it's up to him and Audi people to make the decision. But on the other side, you are focused on the season, but you're also thinking, what to do after in case you don't have a seat. Of course, we have a few options that is looking not too bad as well. But firstly, the race drive remain the priority for now to be focused on.
All right, thank you for that, Joey. Charles.
What do you think? They will.
I don't think he's gonna get a seat, man.
They are struggling all season, but he said like,
look, man, we have 2 new drivers that are performing better than him,
like Colapinto,
and also like Liam Lawson. they are.
Yeah, but the car is rubbish.
We are talking about Audi, man. We are talking about 225, 226, and 225 is gonna be different, I think, for stake.
We'll see.
Let's go.
With the last Grand Prix winner with the Leclerc.
Oh, let's come to you now. Tremendous weekend for Ferrari last time out. What chance a repeat here in Mexico?
What chance? What? Sorry.
A repeat here in Mexico.
I mean, it's very difficult to predict this season race by race. Last weekend went extremely well for us. We were particularly strong in races and in race pace. In qualifying, we struggled a little bit more. However, on the paper, Mexico should be quite a good track for us. But that doesn't mean we'll reproduce the kind of performance we've done in Austin. We just need to focus on ourselves. Focus obviously in FP2 for me. I won't be doing FP1. Ollie will be in the car for FP1. And yeah, just try and maximize the result this weekend, and then we'll see where it ends up. But it's obviously a very important part of the season. Only 5 races to go, and there's the constructors' title that is still possible. So we'll give absolutely everything in order to try and take that one.
Charles, you say it's unpredictable this season, and for a large bulk of it, that has been true, but you have won 2 of the last 4 races. Since the summer break, you've scored 98 points, equal to Lando Norris, 21 more points than Max Verstappen. That's actually getting quite predictable, you being able to get a performance every weekend.
We've been very consistent, and I think we've been maximizing our own performance, which is the most important thing. I don't think we've been necessarily the fastest out of those last few races. However, we were the most consistent, and we've maximized most points against our competitors. We had the best car in Austin, though, which is a good thing, because especially coming to the last 5 races, that's what we needed, and it's the best possible way to start this triple header. But before that, I don't think we had the strongest car, but we were doing the best job as a team in order to bring the maximum points home. So, yeah, that's our goal until the end of the season, and I hope it will pay off at the end.
And how would you describe the atmosphere in Ferrari at the moment? I gather there was a team dinner last night. You turned up dressed as a mariachi, you had the sombrero on. It feels that there's a really good vibe in Ferrari, at least from the outside looking in. Is that the case?
I mean, there's always been a very good vibe in Ferrari. There's a very good vibe in Mexico, especially. And yesterday was a cool team dinner that we did all together. And obviously, after the last weekend, it's nice to regroup, because on Sunday night we did a small thing, but nothing for too long, because we were all flying the day after. And we obviously, on a triple header, you've got to keep the energy for the on-track action. So, but it was good to regroup yesterday, and there's a lot of motivation within the team. We have done some steps forward in the last few races, and we know that the constructors is possible. So we've got to keep the focus at 100% in the next few races, and hopefully come back to McLaren in the constructors.
Look, final one from me, Charles. I wanted to say hello, Maverick, but maybe it's call sign Percival. Some footage has emerged in the last few days of you in a fighter jet. Can you just tell us a little bit more how much you enjoyed it?
I absolutely loved it. It was a very, very special experience. First of all, I'm very lucky to have been given the chance by Canal Plus to actually do that, and not only to go into it, but to be able to pilot it. Obviously, we were 2 in the plane, so it's not like I was on my own. I wouldn't be able to fly it, even though I'm closer and closer to get my plane license, but it's another beast. However, to be able to control it in a safe fly zone, or whatever you call it, it was very, very special. I could, the pilot actually let me went to the limit of the plane, which at first, the first day, I could not at all get close to, because I was feeling dizzy and not super well. However, the second day we could go closer to it, and it's just an incredible feeling. And to be able to compare it to what I do on a daily basis, or nearly in Formula One, was a very special experience. So it was really cool.
Are there any comparisons between that and this?
No, it's very different, because in a fighter jet, you don't really have references around you that are super close. You're obviously quite high, so the feeling of speed is not really there until you actually go to the limit of the plane and feel the G, and there you see, okay, that's crazy. Whereas in Formula One, with the world super close, you really have the sensation of speed straight away. But yeah, both are extremely unique in their own way.
Sounds a lot of fun. Charles, thank you for that. Right,
But just think
I
about
didn't
like a
know
Ferrari
about
fan for
I
their.
didn't know about this. He has a he's
Oh.
going to get a license?
Oh, you didn't know that.
I was busy with my life things.
Okay, but you have that Instagram thing.
Yeah, I have the Instagram thing,
You
but
are
also I have a
scrolling all
wife.
night. What do you think about their winning of constructor championship chance, like a Ferrari fan? Is it possible? Or?
I think it's possible. I did say it in what we did, that analyze thing.
Yeah.
I said it in the last video. Like I said it, it's really, really big chance for Ferrari to win the construction championship, but for the drivers championship, I think Max is gonna be the.
It's like a miracle, the other one.
Yeah, it's like you need to have a lot of luck and things like that. You know, you need You need Max and Lando to collab with each other, and then Charles could
To
get
win the race.
to go to the max with the points, But it's not possible, like it's Formula One.
Never say never, but
Look,
let's continue with the
we have
press.
seen that Max and Lando compete with each other in a high level. We saw that what happened in Austria, right? With the collapsion and things like that. But
They collided.
You need, like, Charles need to have a really big luck for him to get in front of both the drivers in
Maybe
the
to
Drivers'
have a
Championship.
GOAT Latifi.
Yeah, things like that, Goat Latifi or whatever. Maybe Zhou.
And will help.
Let's open this to the floor. Broadcasters, please. You're first.
Yeah, Roldan Rodriguez from DAZN Spain. A question to Charles. Charles, you are doing an amazing season this year, and most probably you're going to beat your records in Ferrari in terms of wins and points. I would like to know, what are the 2 or 3 most important things you have learned from all this time as a driver in Ferrari?
I think my main weakness when I got to Ferrari was being very impatient, and sometimes it still bites me. I feel like I found the right balance, because I cannot either be happy to be a 10th off, and I will always do absolutely everything in order to get that 10th, even if that means that sometimes I go over the limit and crash. But this is probably where I've learned the most, is to try and find that balance. Yes, sometimes it will happen that I'll go over the limits, but I know that over the course of the season it pays more often to have that approach than to just be happy being off for a weekend. But as I said, it's just trying to find that right balance, and at the end of the season having the most possible points. And I think that this year that approach was the right one.
Okay, thank you, Crofty.
Question to Joe, David Cross, Sky Sports F1. There can only be one winner every weekend. Someone else has to finish nearer down the back. But do you feel, with Sauber's struggles this year, you've been given a fair chance to show your talents in Formula One, or are you always having to battle a car that just isn't there for you?
For sure not. I mean, it's been real tough, let's say, because, I still remember, because it just felt a lot better. The first few races of the season, of course, we'll struggle with other things in the pit, but when the car was actually performed quite competitive together with the people around the midfield battle, you really felt you can show what you are gaining or what you learned, experience over the course of, let's say, 2.5 years, that you are getting better experience, better knowledge with everything, and also get more understanding about what you need to go quicker. But then, in that period right now, it's quite difficult, of course, to accept as a driver. But in the same time, I think either, you do the best you can, you kind of, you're out in Q1, or you are just struggling to get through that. And sometimes you're missing like half, let's say, times, sometimes you're missing like half second to the cutoff, which sometimes is difficult to explain exactly pure on driving. So it's a tough season, but you only got what you have. So I'm still trying to give everything I got for the remaining races. And like I said, I care about my future. I care about wanting to stay here as long as I could. So I'm fighting for that, and the opportunity is still there. So I'm just trying to head down.
Thanks, Joe. Next one.
Tim Harani, TSN. Question for Charles. Charles, how do you race against Max Verstappen? I mean, you have a lot of experience racing against him, and looking at after Austin, I mean, he seems really excellent at just playing in the gray area.
I mean, Max has always been on the limit of regulations, but that's what makes racing Max so exciting, and that's also why I really like having those fights with him, is that you know that he will never let any room any room to you, and it will be always at the limit of the regulations, and that's what makes those fights very exciting. Having said that, I feel like there are a few things maybe in Austin that I have seen that we maybe have to discuss with the FIA, because I feel like the penalties were sometimes a little bit too harsh, and we've got to make sure that we are all aligned, the FIA and us drivers, in order to make sure that it's clear what we can do and what we cannot do. When I'm saying that, it's more about, I think, Oscar overtake on the Saturday, which for me didn't really deserve a penalty. But this is an ongoing process that we always try to optimize with the FIA, and it's a discussion that we'll have, I'm sure, during this briefing. But to come back with Max, it's always at the limit of the regulations. Sometimes it goes a little bit over, but yeah, that's what makes Formula One exciting. Those fights makes it exciting.
Yeah, we are done with this. That was the Charles Leclerc's last words at the press conference.
It was really interesting what he said
maybe
about
they
Max.
continued the press conference, but at least we have until now because the stream was ended.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah, but I liked what he said about Max.
Yeah, I want to say just one thing about the Mexican Grand Prix, that we need to remember that the Red Bulls are always dominant on this track. Also, Checo Perez, he always does here like good job, and he's fast because of his home race, you know, and he's like he has the other motivation.
He said, with other words, that I'm scared how the car is going to perform this year at Mexican Grand Prix.
It will perform good. I'm sure about that. They will make everything to perform car like Perez wants, let's say, not like Verstappen wants. But as I said, the Red Bulls are always here a dominant car with a straight line speed.
Hopefully, I think it's going to be.
Well, I think it will be a very interesting race between Red Bulls and Ferraris. I don't give a chance about McLaren. You need to say this. They are done. In my opinion, they lost their hope. They lost their concentration. That penalty actually costed them too much, I think, and they are just defocused. I believe, as I see, but like Leclerc said, that things make the sport more excited.
Yeah.
Maybe they will be dominating. We never know that. But we will see tomorrow of it, how it will go practice 1, practice 2. But practice 3 and qualifying, it will be like to have the idea of
the final answer, who's going to be dominant about the race.
How will things go on the race, because most of the teams at the practice 3 they are trying that long stint, you know, the race strategy, etc. That they practice, they are trying like practicing. We will have a like clear image after practice 3.
Yeah, definitely.
So I hope to have like interesting racing.
Definitely, we are going to see in practice 3, in qualifying, we will see which team is going to be dominating the race.
Yeah.
Even though in Austin we saw Red Bull and McLaren's dominating in qualifying, but then everything changed in the race. Like
because Ferrari's race pace is okay, but the track is different.
It's unpredictable. Like
everything is different.
I want to see a big crash. Like not someone. I don't want to see someone injured, but I want to see like a big crash.
I understand what you want to say. Also, I want to see Mylander how he's going to drive the Mercedes or Aston Martin. I don't know which car is at Mexico, but it will be interesting. We are cyclists that we want to see safety car. Right?
I want to see red flag.
Maybe.
I want to see a red flag.
The track is not like that. It's hard to have a red flag, but you never know. Maybe Russell will fly up to the walls. We will see that. I think it's time to finish.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I just want to say thanks to everyone for being with us until this moment. And don't forget to like and subscribe our channels. Don't forget to like our videos because we need those likes. Like as much as you can. And yeah.
That's it.
Me and my friend will end it here. We will
also, we will have the interviews. See you on the interviews, let's say.
Let's see you in the other videos. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.